It was a strangely warm December evening when I made my rounds of the small town of Forgotten. Yeah, you heard me right. Forgotten is the name of the town. Don't bother looking on a map. Maybe the residents changed the name after being ignored by the outside world. Or maybe the founders had a twisted sense of humor and liked self-fulfilling prophecies. The other hats and I have taken up guard duty, since law enforcement gets no funding from state. Even the government has mostly forgotten us. Except the IRS. They never forget anyone. I was patrolling my usual beat when I heard the butcher's chihuahua barking up a storm. That wasn't the normal I saw a squirrel song barking either. I shimmied up a tree and made my way over to the rooftops to take a look. Brewster! Hey! Brewster, old man! Up here! It's Lester! Yoo-hoo! Stop! Yes, I'm a cat. Meow and all that. Now shut your yap and squeal, wagtail.
Hat?
Yeah, I'm one of the hats.
Wrong, miss. Tree spirit. Fix tree.
To be fair, Brewster was much more intelligent than he sounds. The catch is, I'm not all that fluent in dog.
Tree. Help. Tree spirit.
Trees have spirits?
Excuse me, may we speak as three?
She flowed out from behind the trunk like an early morning stretch. She had legs made for twining around, and long fingers that could scratch for days. Salutations, fair one.
Fine greetings, small and handsome whiskered one. My people's plight is dire, fast wanes the sun.
My name is Lester. I'm one of the hats. We try to right what goes wrong round here.
You may call me Leilani. Every year, as autumn dwindles and the earth grows old, the humans, for their merriment and cheer, invite us with their trees, safe from the cold. But as of late, this custom has grown weak, and barely Christian nor a pagan home is scented by the tree nor branch we seek. We fear scant welcome, dryad, elf, and gnome. I peer in windows, seeing imitations. Can mortals know not plastic's limitations?
Wait. You mean plastic holiday decorations are causing trouble? I thought you'd be happier that humans stopped cutting down trees.
Dilemmas true this causes, to be sure, but Yule logs are our sanctuary when the mortals bundle themselves up in fur till Frigga spins her wheel around again.
Cold. Tree spirit need warm.
Yeah, thanks, Brewster. Never fear, Leilani. The hats are here. I hurried back to HQ. My job was information gathering. What could I do about this? Well, I would report. Surely the chief could fix things.
Folks are crazy. Beer wasn't good here. I'd never. Hey!
You're too much, Bobby. What'd he say?
I said, no, one of those I give to Bruce.
Come on. Leave him alone. He's just a cat. He's a hat like me.
Oh, you folks are crazy. Beer weren't so good here. I'd never. Hey!
Hello, Lester. Welcome back.
Chief Harold knows how to welcome her scouts. Ever the exquisite bartender, she poured me water and food before asking me to report. After the requisite finger sniffing and ear rubbing, of course. No, she's not my human. Don't be insulting. I might adopt her one day. She's the gentlest half-giant I've met.
Your ears aren't cold at all. Nobody who's come into the Tip-Tat today has worn a jacket either. Most of them have been in short sleeves. Freakishly warm for December. Almost supernaturally warm. Zinnia said the salamanders by a house haven't even gone into hibernation yet.
It is warmer than usual this time of year, but the woodland spirits are still worried about the coming cold.
You spoke to wood spirits?
One, Leilani. She's worried about the plastic trees. In times past, Yule logs and Christmas trees served as invitations to the Fae to come inside and warm themselves in winter. Now more people are using plastic decorations.
Progress for the environment, but not so helpful for the Fae crowd. Thanks for the tip. I'll work with Zinnia and my Solstice coven to spread reminders of traditions. We could use a few branches over the doorways, and some wreaths will make the place look festive.
All right, enough. If that's all then, Chief.
Not so fast. I need the top sights and schnoz on this weather anomaly.
The top sights and schnoz. My eyes are undoubtedly the best in the hats, but the best nose? Oh, no. Chief wouldn't ask me to work with.
Come on back, please.
Evidently she would.
On my way, Chief. Excuse me, Bobby.
Wynne Volkov is a good hat. She's just not my type.
Enough! Lester, Wynne, you will put aside your prejudices and solve this case together so the citizens of Forgotten can enjoy the winter holidays without turning on their air conditioners. That's an order.
All right, Chief. Yes, Chief Harold.
Ah, yes, Chief. Wynne and I looked at each other warily. It wasn't that I didn't trust her. She was a hat, after all. You heard how she stood up for me when Bobby the Butcher told me Schatz. But the situation must be dire if the Chief was asking me, her favorite feline, to work with a werewolf.
Wynne, Zinnia briefed you on the weather sitch?
Yes, Chief. She went back to her coven to scry for interfering vibes or some magic speak. She said to give her a buzz once you'd assigned me a partner.
Good. Dismissed.
Wynne and I breezed out the back door and headed west. The coven only lived a few minutes away, but instead of following me to the wooded shortcut, Wynne turned south near the edge of the parking lot.
I'm parked over here, Lester. You have a size advantage when it comes to trespassing, you know. If I cut across someone's garden, I got a lot more explaining to do.
And on a different topic, we have disturbing reports from the State Wildlife Department. A sudden decrease in population of many species of waterfowl has prompted temporary bans on hunting said birds.
Decrease in
Social
birds,
media
huh?
protests by
Does that upset the
Wow.
Oh, the radio's bothering you. Okay, there, it's on. What does that mean?
By the time we reached the coven's neighborhood, I had determined that Wynne did not comprehend cat. She had enough sense to get the gist of a yes or no or what the fleas are you doing, but detailed communication would have to wait.
Welcome to my Solstice house. May the trees always shelter you, and the wind ever bring you clarity.
May the stars light your choices, and the sea sing your dreams.
Thank you. I'm Wynne Volkov, and this is Lester. We're hats.
Wynne seemed unprepared for the ritual greeting. Yang didn't speak cat either, so my diplomacy ran upon deaf ears. But he did not comment about our rudeness, nor draw the massive sword strapped to his back. So I guess he forgave us.
I am Yang. Zinnia is expecting you. Please, follow me.
Wynne, I'm glad you're here. Hello, I'm Zinnia. You must be Wynne's new partner.
Temporarily. You may call me Lester. As I stepped forward to sniff Zinnia's extended finger, I noticed a strange familiarity in her scent. You're a spirit? No. Fairy?
My mother was human, but yes, I am part Fae.
Oh, I forgot to give Lester a heads up. I'm so sorry. I'm used to being the only one who can smell the difference. We didn't out you, did we, Zinnia?
Don't worry, I don't keep secrets from the coven.
You would have a great difficulty.
Please have a seat. Oh, I'm sorry. Yang, would you please bring out a pillow for our guests? Or would you prefer a chair?
The ground's fine, thank you. You found the cause of all this?
There is interference, that's for sure, from someone powerful.
Or something.
That's a good start, but can you narrow it down a bit?
We're working on it. It would be easier if the High Priestess hadn't gone out of town.
Excuses are weights on your ankles.
We will figure this out. I do feel like we're missing pieces of the puzzle.
I'm no mage. Give me the rundown in layman's terms. First, is it a human doing this?
A human could not do this. Not alone, anyway. That doesn't mean a human couldn't be involved.
The magical signature on whatever is affecting the earth, however, is entirely non-human.
Whoa. The Earth? As in the whole Earth? Not just our little bit of it having some odd weather fronts lately?
Oh, yes. Have you seen a newspaper recently?
You still read the newspapers?
Certain types of magic interact badly with electronic devices.
I wonder why nobody's been posting about this. You'd think the global warming protesters would pick this up.
This is too fast for the current stage of global warming. Have you talked to Vila's gang?
No.
There are some magic users in that group.
I don't know how any of them could benefit from this, but then I never understand them, but thanks for the tip.
Thank you. If you'll excuse me, I have a few tasks. May the trees ever shelter you from harm, and the wind always bring you clarity.
May the stars light your choices, and the sea sing your dreams.
Listen, you might not have encountered Vela and her gang before, Lester, so the first thing is, we're dealing with vampires. I know, that's just what you want to hear a week before Christmas or Hanukkah or I don't know. You worship bastard for all I know, you fucking cat. Anyway, vampires, nasty. Most legends have some small bite of truth in them, but who bite? Sorry, that was unintentional. Listen, they're bloodsuckers. Most of them, they've learned better than to go after human prey anymore, but that makes you more of a target, though, so we'll have to get you a collar. Take it easy. It's only for protection.
I couldn't see what protection it could offer me, unless she planned to soak it in holy water. If looks could kill, that wolf would have been bleeding out into the driver's seat.
The vamps have learned, that if they mess with if they hurt anyone who's wearing a collar, it draws attention, the bad kind. So you'll be safer in the collar. Okay. What about a harness? Military tactical look, it'll add to your intimidation factor. I don't blame you. But I don't want to face Chief if anything bad happens to you.
After we stopped at the store, I grudgingly allowed Wynn to fasten the harness on me. I could tell it was almost as difficult for the wolf to force herself to touch me as it was for me to allow it. Tolerating the harness on my body afterwards was no easier.
Oh, gosh, stop that. You're going to get your paw stuck in there. I can't help you right now. I'm driving. I'm aiming for Radamir's usual hangout. He's not very powerful, which means he's saner than the other ones. He also has to eat more often, so leave that chicken blood alone, Lester. It's a bribe. Hey, you're not going to be able to remove the harness. Just relax. It's hard at first, but it'll get better.
How would you know? I said, but of course all she heard was meow.
It does look good on you. I know. They didn't have it in black. This was the only one they had, but it's cute.
Cute? It was not a happy kitty.
All right. Stay close.
That is a pretty car.
Hey, be polite.
I love the hotness. The green brings out its eyes, and the candy canes. You cannot blame a man for getting hungry when food advertises itself.
Hello, Radomir. Step out of the shadows if you want to talk to me.
Volkov, why would I want to talk to you? Unless you have something to offer me? I see you brought something with you, something I might be persuaded to accept.
The cat is off limits. If you're not ready to talk, I can find another conversation.
Wait, I'm just so hungry. It's almost the holidays. Spare a little food for a starving man.
Come out of the shadows.
The street light does not flatter my complexion.
Have you been?
On life can be hard, still I manage. At least I have my youth.
Yeah, you always have that. Are they treating you well?
Yeah, they take me for granted. Erkin, he is always with the Magic King. I must fetch components for this and that, haul the stone slabs from one graveyard to another for the next for the next ritual. He is always too tired to clean up afterwards, so who does it all? Radomir.
Yeah, you do so much. Why, the great mage Erkin would never accomplish any of his deeds if were not for you helping him.
True.
He wouldn't have raised the mummy army at the museum 5 years ago, nor found Vela Louise's lost family ring. There's no way he could have exploded City Hall into the most artistic fireworks display on last year's Dia de los Muertos without your help.
Yes. It's so nice to be appreciated.
I guess he really hasn't done much since then, you know.
Oh, he is still busy.
If you say so.
Oh, yes. Why, he is redirecting entire migration patterns, using valuable components and vast energy reserves, all to help some poor homeless families. Such a great mage.
A great mage indeed. How does redirecting a migration pattern help homeless families?
I said too much. You, with your pretty face and your pretty talking, you promised me food. No food, no talk.
Of course. I picked up some chicken blood just for you. Here.
That was a horrible man.
That poor guy.
At least we got some information.
Yeah, meow yourself. All right, come on, let's go back so we can get that harness off of you.
The most we could detect was type of magic.
It was native.
Nate, what does that mean?
Not elemental, not chi, not from any European tradition, but very linked to this geographic area, yet spread to the entire world.
It is my best guess that Native American tradition is involved, at least tangentially.
Like a shaman?
No, this isn't human. It is much too powerful.
Like a spirit? Or a god? I don't know. I feel awful. I should know more about this shit.
I know. In school, they focused on ancient Greece and Rome.
So you should ask an anthropologist who specializes in cultural mythology, since the high priestess is away visiting her mother.
Well, if she's not here, then we... Hey, wait, Yang! You're an anthropologist!
A master's in anthropology, with an undergraduate degree in literature. It is intriguing how humans and supposedly mythological events have interlaced over the years.
Oh, great! So, what kind of Native American legend could affect the temperature?
Oh, it could be one of many. The Thunderbird is capable, but would need a strong reason to interfere. There are several others, but again, each would need a compelling reason.
They don't really know anything.
Well, we know it isn't blood magic, though there is enough of that going on. It made the entire scrying field fuzzy. I'm sorry we sent you on a wild goose chase to the vamps.
Oh, geese. It wasn't a wild goose chase.
Lester says it wasn't a wild goose chase.
Wynn got useful information.
He says this is tedious. May I link you two in my peripheral mind so that you'll understand him as I do?
Of course.
I'm not comfortable with anyone reading my mind. No offense.
Not at all. I would only be able to hear projected thoughts. Thoughts you're actively trying to communicate. There. Please continue, Lester.
First, there was the news on the radio about the suddenly declining waterfowl population.
Yes, the whole ecosystem is imperiled.
I've seen lots of ducks and geese flying overhead. If I hadn't heard it on the news, I wouldn't have known.
Then, Radomir said that mage X something was altering migration patterns.
That's the vamp scent that's been smeared all over this. Altering migration patterns? I can't even imagine. The gall!
I can't imagine what power. He cannot draw that much from within himself. He would die.
So if he's altering the migration pattern, then maybe the disappearing ducks and geese are still alive. Just not where they're supposed to be.
This is important. We might have to pass off the birds to someone else, though. Saving the climate is more urgent. To save the world.
That's a little overdramatic, don't you think?
Melting ice caps. Alteration of plant life cycles. Hibernation cycles. We rely on...
Okay. You got a point.
Radomir said something about helping homeless families by changing the migration pattern. Though how duck patterns have anything to do with...
Ducks! Duck oil. Amala. Amala supports the earth on a pole, and a servant massages duck oil into his muscles. If ever the ducks are hunted out, Amala will die, and the world will fall off of the pole, and boom, it is the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world. There are still ducks.
And we know that the Earth is still rotating around the sun.
Axial tilt. Oh.
What?
If the axial tilt has any connection to the angle at which Amala is holding the pole...
And if his muscles are getting tired because there is less duck oil...
Then the axial tilt could change, and the seasons could be irrevocably altered.
We gotta find those ducks.
Now we're talking. Let's go bird hunting. Branwen. Psst. Branwen.
Ah, Lester? It's late.
My deepest apologies. I shall make it up to you, beautiful one.
Ah,
I heard a rumor that the ducks have changed their migration pattern this year.
that's no rumor. That's a fact. I know.
You saw it yourself?
I did. And not just me either. My sister and my cousins and my cousin's son too. We've all seen it.
Really? Tell me more.
There's a new lake a few territories south of the city near that abandoned mill. All the ducks want a piece of that water, and the geese and the pheasants too.
Pheasants? I've never tried pheasant.
Good hunting, Lester. Tell me all about it in the morning.
Thank you, lovely Branwen. Sweet dreams.
Nice work.
Lester, were you flirting with that raven?
Don't be ridiculous. It never hurts to pay a lady a compliment.
You are a fine gentleman, Lester.
As we approached the abandoned mill outside of Forgotten, Wynn parked at a tiny closed gas station. As soon as the car door opened, my whiskers started tingling. I felt my fur staring up all along my spine.
It smells wrong.
I know. The magic pressure has built up in this area. My head's spinning a bit, too.
Oh, geese!
Arnold Erkin never was one for precision.
At least we know we're headed in the right direction. What language is that?
I have no idea.
Is not Latin, Chinese, Fey, Cherokee. It doesn't sound like anything I've ever heard.
Keep your voice down.
Drink, Master Urken. You must keep up your strength.
You fool! I cannot stop! Away! One way
Let me take the tambourine for a while then. I can keep the rhythm going.
We have to stop them.
I'm not even sure what they're doing.
Whatever it is, it's keeping the birds in prison on that lake.
Oh, the lake can't sustain that many. Well, I'm for causing a disturbance.
Wait!
Let go of me!
You can't just rush in there half-cocked, cat.
A disturbance, yes. Wait for us to get in place first. And be careful.
All righty. I watched my team encircle the oblivious spellcaster and his assistant. There were so many birds in front of me, most of them sleeping. Some rousing with a startled chorus of honks every now and then when the chanting got too loud. Seeing them, smelling them, I could almost taste one. I saw the flash of Zinnia's compact mirror. Finally!
Forgotten hats! Hands up! Stop chanting!
Don't hurt me!
Cease your chanting. You're endangering the world. Yang, isn't that interruption spell ready?
I cast it. He's fighting me. Strong.
Take my hand.
Radomir, you know you don't want to destroy the world. You live here. You unlive here. There's food here.
I don't want to destroy the world.
Why can't I get near Urken?
His protective spells are strong.
You don't say.
Flee, silly geese! Scram, ducky!
He must have a power source nearby. He was never this strong on his own.
What's the focus, Radomir? Tell me.
You'd kill me if I help you.
The world is doomed if you don't.
I don't know. I don't know.
Why are you interfering with my king?
Lady Bella, you've come to save us.
Why are your kin interfering with the natural order?
Natural. The natural world abandoned us long ago.
The ritual has a life of its own now. No matter what you do to me, the birds will remain.
His barrier's down. Quickly went. Oh.
Hila, we meet again. Draw and face me.
Lester, get back here.
Heeding Zinnia's call, I left the birds alone, much to their relief. And mine. Those wings hit hard. I saw Yang facing off against a well-dressed vampire, sword in hand. I could hear Wind growl as she rushed a staggering Urken. Radomir cowered and backed away from the relentless Zinnia, who pelted him with questions and threats. Seeing the ladies had everything under control, I focused on Yang's fight. I darted in and slashed my claws against the back of the strange vampire's leg.
Oh, you'll pay for that, cat.
A momentary distraction was all Yang needed. He pressed forward, disarming her. A wooden stake magically appeared in his other hand, the point resting against her cheek.
Freeze, Vela. Oh, this goes through your heart.
Yang, you shouldn't have. I didn't get you anything.
What's the focus, Vela? Urkin doesn't have this much power on his own.
Zinnia, the mage is unconscious. Can you counter it now?
You fools came bumbling in here with no clue how to stop us. How precious.
Look at your lady, Radomir, with a stake pointed at her heart. Spill it, or else.
Silence, Radomir!
You must stop, Vela. You are killing Amala. Besides the murder, changing the axial tilt will change the seasons, melt the polar ice caps, effect mass extinction of millions of species as the entire ecosystem begins to fail.
That won't affect us.
It will affect your food supply.
Stop.
Leilani?
Stop. This was not our intent.
Wood Spirit, even if you call this off, our debt is still repaid.
You were destroying the world to repay a debt?
She asked for protection from the cold. She never specified how.
I know you're scared of the winter, Leilani, but you couldn't have wanted this.
2 centuries you have been in our debt. I now release you. It is paid in full. With tears of shame, I see the plans we set in motion were but selfish, not helpful.
Homeless families. Fae? You did this to help the Fae. Leilani, you should have come to the hat sooner. Chief is making progress on the tree thing, and it's only been a day.
Now how do we stop this ritual and save the world? The ringing tabor passed from hand to hand, all down my family tree is now in hers. So break it, wolf, and bury in the land to heal the wounds and release winter's curse. How oft 'tis said the Fae are short of sight and quick of fancy. True, yet this wood elf shall collect duck oil to atone this night and rub it on Amala's back myself.
That is fitting.
Let me go!
This time.
This tambourine, huh? Yeah. All right.
Wind buried the broken tambourine deep in the ground. Zinnia and Yang performed cleansing rituals on the area. They said winter solstice is a perfect time to reset the vibes. Burton is going on trial for environmental safety violations and resisting arrest. Chief is talking to the DA, but they doubt they can make the charges stick. Vila disappeared into the night. As for Leilani, I often see her at the tipped hat, where Chief put up a beautifully decorated tree. As for the birds, most of them left shortly after Wind buried the tambourine. A few have stuck around, and I stop by to play with them every now and then.
Do they appreciate your style of play?
Bronwyn, you wound me. They're starting to come around.
Ah, vampires are powerful. You were very brave, but I would have expected you to have had more trouble.
I try not to think on it, but it might have been too easy. I wonder what other plans they have brewing.
I guess we'll find out. Happy holidays, Lester.
Happy holidays.